And it's Maureen Baker from the pond on Hart Pond in Chelmsford. I'm just looking for my reference photo. We're going to paint some pretty petals. I know that some of you have wanted me to paint sky and water. I'm starting an Italy painting, small Italy demo in oils on Thursday. Yes, I am. But today we're going to paint in acrylics and we're going to paint in orange. If I can find my reference photo. Is that it? Nope. Nope. Here it is. Alright, I got my reference photo. And I think I'll turn on some lights. My camera did not cooperate, but I got it. I'm getting there on this camera. So I thought we'd finish this one up. Yep, I did. I thought we'd finish this one up. And like I said, on Thursday we're going to do a demo in oils. We are not, I am. And I'm going to start with the skies. And I think we're going to do some Italian water. You know, that sounds good. And it's going to be fun. But today we're going to do this. We're going to do some finish up on this. This has got a really highly textured background, so it's a sandy background. Not like my friend Sandy. Alright, which has its fair share of challenges in painting. But I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? We want to lighten some of this up a little bit, and we want to darken out some of these leaves. We're going to do some lights and darks in the leaves. Alrighty, so let's see what I got going on here. I got some big brushes, that's good. So we're going to start with yellow, and we're going to move around the painting, and I'm going to use some Hansa yellow. Okay, Hansa yellow is pretty transparent, so we're going to start with it being transparent. What is this? This is a 14, which is the same as a half. And we're going to come in here like this, and we're going to lighten up the edge of this petal right here. Okay? Lighten up the edge of this petal. I'm going to get some movement going in this. It's a little stagnant. Alright? And the thing about painting with this level of realism, it's not super realistic, but I do want it to have some level of realism to it. That's what I'm looking for. You have to do it again and again. Alright, first time out of the gate just doesn't cut it. There we go, look at that. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to bring the middle and we're going to make it bend. Paint side of my brush, turn it around, and soften it out. Alright, and look at the bend on that, and then you lift up on the pressure on your brush, excuse me, and you soften it out. We don't want lines. I just added some more paint to my brush because I want it to have more paint, and I want it to be wider. I'm not using a lot of pressure on my brush. I'm just painting away. This is an orange rose. I believe I took the photo for this in Virginia. Yeah, when my daughter was looking at places to get married. We're going to start on this one right down in here. And we're going to start across the middle to make that bend. Light and yellows come forward. Blues and not always darks, but blues have the tendency, blues do push back. Light yellows come forward. Warm colors come forward. Look at that. See how much prettier that is? With that nice bend in it. Then I'm going to turn it around. And I'm going to put another bend right in this one right here. Hello from Venezuela. And we're going to put another bend right in here. And we're going to get this puppy, this pretty orange rose to flow. There, that looks much better. This over here is going to get lighter. As much as you can't be afraid of the darks, you can't be afraid of the lights. There we go. Right up in here, this is with straight handsaw. All right, and we're gonna come in like that. There we go. Oh, can't be offline. Off camera. There we go. And this area right in here, there we go, is going to be lighter. This is all being done in acrylics. The Monday demos are acrylic day. And we have a painting journey every month. Yes, we do. We have a painting journey every month. And this month we're doing birds. March, we're going to bring in some flowers. Yes, we are. There we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look prettier? Okay. What is this done? Oh, yeah, that needs to be lightened up a little bit too. Now, that's good. Looks better already. Yes, it was looking a little, flat. We want flowers to flow. Flowers flow. They have ruffles. Not like potato chips. But they do have ruffles. Nice, soft ruffles. This needs to be done again. We'll probably do them all again. Right across that bend. There we go. Lifting up on the pressure on my brush. And softening it out. Yep, this is a nice pretty orange rose. Okay. Coming around. And softening it out. Now, there's a relationship between the lights and the darks. The lights make the darks darker, and the darks make the lights lighter. There, that's good. I am going to put a little bit of light right in here. Soften it out. And remember, this is acrylic. So acrylic dries an entire value darker. All right, we're going to come across the middle here, like this. Softening it out. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring in some vermilion. All right. I'm going to bring in some vermilion, and we're going to intensify some of the oranges. There we go. I'm going to clean off my brush. I don't want this to get really, really dark. So I'm gonna try, we're gonna bring in some more vermilion right under here. Oh, can't be off camera. Doesn't do you guys any good for me to be off camera. There we go. And then we're gonna bring some in here. You seem to get a little brown. So we're gonna bring in a little bit of vermilion and see if that softens that out a little bit. Okay. And then I'm gonna have a heavy loaded brush now on this middle petal, this middle dark petal. All right, there we go. Same thing over here. The petal comes from here. It comes from the growth, paint in the direction of the growth. This got a little too yellow, that's all right. We're just gonna put a little more vermilion into the shadow. Hi Cheryl Martin, how are you dear? On this cold winter day, the whole country is cold. There, it's warmer than it's been. We're into the 30s here in Massachusetts. It's there, look at that. That's much better. Put a little more orange in here, just like this. Just slap it in. Yeah, that's looking much better. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down. All right, and right in here, I'm going to put in a little bit of vermilion and soften it out. Okay. That's good. And under here. All right, I kind of made a boo-boo on this petal here, so I'm going to fix it. All right, I'm going to go into my Hansa Yellow, and this petal right here comes over this one there. Much better. See that? I didn't worry. One of the most important things about painting is you don't worry. Bring that down in, just like that. All right, I'm gonna let that dry out. A little more vermilion into here. Now I'm gonna change my brush size. I'm gonna drop down to, if I can read it, it's a 10, okay? We're going to change the brush size a little bit. I don't like that one. I'm going to drop all the way to a 6. And I'm going to side load into Hansa Yellow. And we're going to make this flip. We're going to lighten up that flip. And we're going to lighten up this flip right here. Okay? Come around, up on the chisel. There we go. All right. Right in here. We're going to lighten that up right on the edge of that petal, just on the edge, and then down in here. Okay, this is all being done with Hansa Yellow. And I did not add any white to it yet. Okay, just bring in a little bit of a dip right there. That's good. Little bit of a dip right there. I'm glad you like it, Cheryl. Okay. Now that's looking far more graceful. Right across water side of my brush, okay, I'm going to come right across here like this and soften it out. And I'm working on a small brush, but I'm liking it. This is only a 6. Okay. Blend it out. Little bit more yellow. Blend it out. There we go. Now I'm going to go into my vermilion. And I want to tuck this in here a little bit. There we go. Yep, push that down. Underneath here, we want this area right in here to be a little darker. There, it's getting there. I am going to put out some naphthol red. Alright, and I'm going to mix the naphthol red with the vermilion. Oh, this is dry now. I want to do that first. I do want to side load into straight vermilion. This is the water side of my brush, and we're going to come in like that. And we're going to make that turn. Alright. I'm going to go back into Hansa Yellow. I cleaned off my brush, water side of my brush, and right in here and against that edge, we're going to bring in some Hansa Yellow. Soften it. I flip the brush around and I'm just softening it out. Okay? There, that's better. Up in here, we're going to bring that Hansa Yellow back in. Okay. And we're going to widen this out a little bit. Just flip. That's pretty. Okay. Now I'm adding a little bit of Hansa Yellow here. Alright, just softening it out a little bit to make that pop out a little bit. Alright. Now, I'm going to mix not Hansa Yellow, vermilion and naphthol red 1:1. Alrighty. That's just going to make that vermilion a little bit darker. I don't want it to be real dark. I just want to have a couple of areas that are a little bit darker. We're going to do it a little gradually. Okay, right in here, we're going to increase the darkness. Alright. I'm going to go right into straight naphthol red. It's not dark enough. There. That's good. Under here, water side of my brush. Yes, I'm working on a 14 on this big petal. Alright. This is naphthol red. And soften it out. Alright. Lifting up on the pressure on my brush. Right there. Alright, that's good. I am water side of my brush, and I'm going to go in. This is naphthol red. Alright. That's good. And then right into this corner. Look at that. That is getting pretty. I'm going to reload my brush a little bit, water side of my brush, and I want this little triangle to be a little bit darker. There we go. Cleaning my brush off. And I do want to soften that out a little bit. Okay? I'm going to add this one little divot that I see on the photograph that I took. I'm working with a 6. And I am going to put a ruffle in right here. There we go. Yeah. Back to back. Soften it out. That's good. I'm going to turn this upside down so you can see it. And we're going to go in here like this. Okay. All right. Very good. I'm liking it. Still in straight Hansa yellow. Come up on the chisel edge and come around. I have a great painting journey program. I'd love to have you join me. We meet on Thursdays. Everything in the painting journey is recorded and available indefinitely. I'm going to pat, 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 pat some lights into here. Okay. All right, I think that that's good. Now we're going to add some warm white to our palette. And I'm going to mix warm white and Hansa yellow 1-to-1. You know what? There is a pattern for this, Cheryl. There's a kit. I think that I have one left. I'll have to look it up, and I'll do that after I'm done the demo. All right. And we're going to mix that 1-to-1. All right. I'm going to go in with my 6. I'm going to side load. No, it has orange on it. My brush had orange on it. I have to clean my brush off. This is my high highlight color. All right. Pink side of my brush. And we're going to come in right in here, and we're going to come down. Okay. Soften it out by lifting up on the pressure on my brush. Okay. There we go. We're going to add a little bit of high highlight on this edge right here. I don't want to put in straight warm white. Right there. And right here. There's a couple of spots that are in high highlight. Now I want you to remember something. Acrylics dry an entire value darker, so don't get nervous if it looks too hot, too light. And you can always tap it in. You can always just tap in a little extra color if you need to. All right in here. There. Oh, I went off screen. Sorry about that. And we're going to start right here. We're going to come around a little bit. There. Okay. There. Okay. A little bit right there. And right here. And then I'm going to stay on the chisel edge of my brush, and I'm just going to tap that in for a little bit of high highlight right there. That's good. Now, I do want to lighten this up right here, just a little tiny bit in that corner. All right. Just a little tiny bit. And this is Hansa Yellow. Just putting in a little tiny bit of highlight in that corner. Not on the very edge. Just to turn it just a little bit. Give it a little bit more dimension. What I'm looking for here. There. That's good. This is not high highlight. This is straight Hansa Yellow. Yeah. That's much better. Okay? Those little tiny nuances will make a difference. This is right in the middle of the bulb of the rose. Then I'm putting a little bit of Hansa Yellow on. Right here. Okay. I think that's good. Oh, you know what? This is a little brown in here. I'm not really liking that. So, how am I going to do this? I'm going to bring in a little bit of light Hansa, not just plain Hansa Yellow. Hi, Linda Johnson. How are you, dear? All right, a little bit of straight Hansa Yellow right in there. Gonna give it a little bit of a ripple and a little bit of a ripple up here. Back to back, soften it out. That's good. And I'm gonna go into some vermilion in the middle. I'm not liking the fact that it's looking a little brown. When flowers look a little brown, they look like they're dying. We don't want this puppy to be dying. So I'm going to add a little bit more Hansa Yellow here. That's not a little, that's a lot. Seems like a lot. Oh, that little girl in that commercial is just so adorable. All right, now I'm going to put in some, yeah, that took the brown right out. I'm going to put in some vermilion right over it. Okay. Secret to great painting is not to be afraid to make a mistake. You make a mistake, you just paint over it. There, let's take a peek here. All right, I do want to go in here with my 14, and I am going to lighten that up one more time because I lost my roll and all of that, and that's all right because I think it looks much better. Okay, so I side load, water side of my brush, come across, soften it out. Okay, much better. Now it's gonna soften out even more. This is acrylic. It dries an entire value to 2 values darker. All right, so don't panic. There. There. That's good. Once again, I'm going to come out, bring in a little bit of a flip, roll, whatever you want to call it. Flowers, flowers roll, flowers flow, buildings are erected. Love that. I made that up. There. Whoops, went offline. I didn't go offline, I went off camera. There. Okay, that's good. I think that's good. Maybe a little tiny bit right there. All right, I'm thinking that this is really getting there, getting really pretty. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of work on the leaves, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Thursday, 4 o'clock. Sometimes I'm a little late, just hold on. We're gonna do a great oil demo, and we're gonna start an Italian one from my Italy trip, and I'm pretty excited about it. There we go. And yeah, we're going to be doing some sky, and we're going to be doing some water, and we're going to be doing some great stuff. So stop by my page on Thursday for a great oil demo. There, look at that leaf. That looks so much better. So much better. And then we're going to come in like this. There. Alright, same thing over here. Gonna give it a little bit of oomph. Yeah, little C strokes. Flip the brush over. Yeah, look at that. Stem needs to have a highlight over there. I know this is a little tiny, unusually looking leaf. I'm going to drop down to a 6. It's this little tiny leaf underneath this flower. Water side of my brush. I know, aren't we enduring the cold this year, Linda? It's really, this has been a tough winter for us here in New England. We haven't had a winter like this in years. I have to tell you though, we never lost power, which I'm very grateful for. There, look at that. That looks so much better, that leaf. Just adding a little bit of highlight. Too much paint, just soften it out. There, look at that. There. I did notice something up in here that I need to fix a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit of dark in here. There. Really push that down. I cleaned off my brush, and I'm going to just soften that out now. And I am going to add some straight Hansa yellow just to there. Okay? And that looks good. Much better. Alright. I think I'm going to call it a day. And I hope you stop by on Thursday. We're going to be, Thursdays are oil day, Mondays are acrylic day. All right. And hi, Glenda. So, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you hopefully on Thursday. All right. Take care.